Hello, everyone. Welcome to There Be Toys. Now, I'm going to take a look at something that I wasn't originally seeing this anywhere. Like, I hadn't seen any reviews. Now there are some popping up on YouTube, but originally I didn't see anything about this, so I was kind of confused. But it is the Addams Family toys from Burger King that were released now. Like, they're out there now. I hadn't seen much about this, so I not even like an ad or a commercial or anything like that. So I was kind of surprised, but I was also a little surprised because these are based on the 2019 movie, and then there was a sequel that was in 2021. So it was that new animation. I guess that may be the newer version that they are gonna like keep going for now. But these are based on those movies, and there isn't anything new out there. Like there isn't a Halloween special, which you would think, or like nothing new has come out. So I found that really strange. But also, like when you go to the Burger King Instagram page, there's nothing about it. They, as at least as of right now, there's no picture, there's no commercial. I did look, I did some digging, and I was able to find a couple of commercials and ads for it, mostly not in the US. I think one of them was Burger King Brazil and stuff like that. So really, you're not seeing anything here. And I just thought that was odd. Like, wait, they just came out and didn't have much fanfare. They are advertising the meals, like there are Adams Family themed food that came out, but I'm just not seeing a lot about the toys. The first few that I saw were reviews by Fast Food Toy Reviews, Imagine Falcor, and they were just like maybe one or two others. Now I'm starting to see a few more. So what I thought I would do is I would get a few. I just ordered them. I didn't get the food or anything, but I got three. There are six. So let's take a look at some of these Addams Family Burger King Jr. toys. All right. So first we have Gomez. Now they each come in like a plastic, a sort of hard plastic, except for Morticia's is in like a soft plastic. So here you go. It's just in this plastic bag. Obviously they come in the little meal. And I think they've gotten like a lot healthier with the meal options now. Like you can get apples instead of fries and all that stuff, and the portions aren't like great big and everything, but still comes with a toy. Like how often are you hearing about any of the toys that get released? Like there's nothing like major, like there was a Mario movie, like they do tie-ins still. But that's what's interesting about this is it doesn't tie into anything that's current. It's just that it's Halloween and they've come out with that. But there's something about that I'm going to get into in just a second. But anyway, here is Gomez in the bag. Let's get him out. Okay, so here is Gomez Addams. And it is definitely based on the newer animation, as you could see. He's got the like sort of round body. Does he stand? He stands. He stands. It's all that important, right? Is that they stand up on the shelf. And he does. And very much more true to the original look of Gomez. And I think a lot of people were used to the movie that came out and Raul Julia, who's all handsome and debonair and everything. Gomez was supposed to be a little like pug looking. He was not supposed to be the most, attractive. He was supposed to be kind of goofy. So here is Gomez, and he has a feature. Each of them has a feature, and he has the feature. He's got some sort of lever on the back, and if you click it, if you push it down, it's like he snaps. Not the best feature. You see him kind of struggling with it, and he only gives one snap. You need two. You need two. Everybody knows the song, and he can only do the one snap. So it's well, it's cute. It works. That's about it. That's all you get with Gomez. Snapping Gomez. All right. Next, we have Morticia, and as I mentioned, she's in a much softer bag. This was, I think, the first one I saw. It came up on my Instagram, or something like that, or maybe I saw a TikTok or something, and I'm just like, "What is this? I haven't seen these Addams Family toys," and I just was shocked. It's like, where have these been? Where did these even come from? I didn't know they existed. Here is Morticia. She actually has two pieces, and she is in this little plastic clam tray kind of thing. So you just pop her out of that. And here she is. And she has got rooted hair. It ain't the nicest hair, I'll tell you that. It is not the nicest look. It's all kind of like jagged and everything, and it's actually more hair than I thought would have been rooted into this head. So I'm guessing that the head's actually kind of a harder plastic. I'm kind of surprised by that. I would have thought it would have been really soft, but it isn't. It's actually a very firm plastic. There's a lot of strays already. I'll be chopping those off. And she comes with a little accessory that is a comb and a display base. So you can use this to comb the hair, because guess what? You're going to need to. And then she connects in to the base. I think it's this way, because I think it goes that this is the back. And that's on there pretty secure. So we know she's going to stand because she's got that base. And the thing I thought was weird that I saw, so one of her arms moves. So she's got articulation in one arm, as you can see. And let's see, the head. No, the head does not move at all. At least I don't think so. It's not moving for me. But it's this other arm in this awkward, what is this pose? Like, why is she's just waving hello, I guess. I hope, but that's what that is. But it does not want to move. And it almost makes me think, was there supposed to be another gimmick for her, and it didn't work, and they changed it at the last minute? Because this is just strange. Both of the hands are kind of the same. And I wonder if this was supposed to be some kind of gimmick, and it just didn't work. And that the head doesn't move. That's strange, because there is no gimmick, right? There's nothing that would be preventing it. So why doesn't it move? But it's okay. It looks like her. I think because of the features that they have in the movie now. She's so thin, like her neck is so long and thin. You don't get that here. Her neck is not quite thin. In fact, what she reminded me of, which is kind of why I wanted to get her. I used to love the Filmation Ghostbusters series. If you're as old as I am, you've probably had them. You've probably seen them. It was actually a good show. I liked it. Of course, Real Ghostbusters was great, and it was the whole controversy because Filmation Ghostbusters was first. They actually owned the rights to the name Ghostbusters, and it's a whole thing. If you know, you know. But they were gonna do a version of the Sony Ghostbusters, and Sony went and did their own thing. So Filmation was left, holding the ball, and they said, well, we'll make our own Ghostbuster show. We have the rights to the name. The name belonged to Filmation at the time. So that's what they did. And so they made toys, and the toys were great. I had almost all of them. I had pretty much all of them. I had the Haunt Quarters. I had the Buggy, and I really like the toys. And this Morticia reminds me of the Mysteria figure. There was this figure, she had this black hair, she had this purple long dress, and it just reminded me. It just brought me back. That I'm like, God, it looks just like Mysteria. That's exactly even the way her arms were just so fixed in place. It was funny the way it kind of reminded me that. But anyway, that is Morticia. All right, and next we have Cousin It. Ignatius It, Augustus It. I can't remember the first name, but he's got a full name, and it's ITT is It, not IT. And I've seen different spellings of it. Some people are just doing it officially. They're doing it IT sometimes. It's supposed to be ITT, but here he is in the package, voiced famously in the 2019 movie by Snoop Dogg. Apparently, he just kind of mumbles. You don't even hear anything. He just makes these mumbling sounds. Anyway, let's open him up. All right, so here is Cousin It. And it's always funny when you can get a full character out of something that's just essentially a clump of hair. That's all he was. He was just a great big clump of hair with, of course, a fashionable hat. You know. Oh gosh, and I forgot. I kind of do want it. I know it's ridiculous, but there is a cousin it styling head, like the back in the day, like the styling heads like Barbie had and everything. So instead of course, being Barbie with the face and everything, it's just a great big clump of hair with the glasses on. And I kind of want it. They supposedly have them at Five Below, which is like really cheap. Like some places are selling them for full price. I don't know what, $25, $30. I'm not sure. So I'm going to be on the lookout for that because it's not something I need in the least bit, but something I want. So I'm going to put this book down because his gimmick is you wind him up and he's supposed to roll around. And he ain't going to get very far because he's going to fall right off this book. But let's see if he at least moves. Ah, he does. Perfect. Look at that. And he wobbles all around. So that is his little gimmick that he will move when you do the little wind up feature. So that actually works pretty good. I'm kind of surprised. And you can see at the bottom, there are the rollers at the bottom. So you got the little handle on the side, you wind it up, and it goes, and you could see you could see how it wobbles like off center. Now, there were three more. I didn't get them, but there was Uncle Fester. That one actually was pretty cool. It had a light up feature. There was a button on the back. There was an on and off switch, and I think you can remove the batteries because that was always the thing with the Happy Meal toys. If the battery was dead, that's it. It was dead, and they didn't last very long. So I think these you can remove. But there's a little button on the back, and on the front, he projects. There's a light. He projects like bats on whatever, on the wall or whatever you've got. And then there is Wednesday. She has some like frog, which people thought was like a microwave. I don't know if it's a microwave. It looks like a microwave, but she also has a light up feature. You switch on the back and it lights up on the inside where the frog is. And the frog like moves back and forth in like a really weird way. I don't know if it's being cooked or what the situation is there. And then there is Thing, and he's in like a big crypt, and you open it up, and like the hand pops out. So not the biggest gimmick on that one. They had a schedule. Well, it looks like nobody's following the schedule because like they're all out. They're supposed to go through November, and like they're already out. Like people are getting all six of them. So if you have a Burger King near you, they probably have them. I know some people said they were going to their local and they didn't see them. And again, like I said, I don't know if they're at all of them. I don't know if they're at some of them. Like I don't know what the deal is. People seem to be finding them. It's just nobody was really talking about them. So I kind of wanted to get them. But what I also thought was interesting is that on the back, it's got a copyright date of 2019 on here. And I'll get a close up of it so that you can see. But normally, when there's a figure, a toy, anything like that, the copyright date should be current. Like it should say 2024, not 2019. And correct me on that if I'm wrong. I think like if there's Star Wars toys that come out from A New Hope, they don't say 1977. They have to say the year that that the toy was released. So I'm not sure why it says 2019, other than maybe to think these were supposed to be released in 2019, which would make sense because that's when the movie came out. And for whatever reason, they were just held back and they were just sitting there. They're just stock basically, and they decided to release them, now. But it's not on their social media. It's not their website's kind of like not the best website. Like you can just like order food. So unless there's like a different website and I'm looking in the wrong place, like I didn't see anything about it on their website. Like you can order a kid's meal, but it doesn't talk about this is what you get. So it mentions the food. I believe that. I believe it mentions the food. I did see that. So it mentions the food, the themed food that they have, but it does not mention these toys specifically. Honestly, I really like them. I'm kind of surprised when it comes to kids' meal toys. These are better. The gimmicks, maybe not the best, but they're fun little toys. Like I don't know how much a whole kids meal costs like these days. I mean, hopefully not that much. I mean, everything's too expensive as it is. But really, for a theme toy, it really isn't that bad. It's really really they're good to go with the movie. Maybe that's why they're just not doing well, because I don't know how well that new movie has been received. I thought it did kind of well. I thought people kind of liked it, but I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know if I was as much into the Addams family or the Munsters. I was so surprised that they never met. Like, I know they were owned by two different companies and stuff, but you'd think they try to make that happen, especially by now. Like the Addams meeting the Munsters, like would be really cool. That would really revitalize both those brands, to be honest. I think so. I don't know if the Addams family was more fun. I think they reran the Munsters a lot, and I know they redid it in the 80s. So that might be why I remember it a little more, because they did redo it. And Addams Family wasn't on until like much later, like Nick at Night and stuff like that. So I didn't see it as much, but they're way fun. And then, then there was that movie, the movie that came out. Gosh, when was it? 1992, 1991. That movie was great. As far as taking something that was an older property, because it was like 35 years old, I think, at that point. Well, for the show, for the actual comic, the comic was actually older. That's what started it. But in terms of the show, it was a continuation, technically, of the show. I think that was a really, really faithful representation, really honoring the source material. The characters were all on point. All the actors, they were perfect. I'm kind of surprised that in this lineup of six figures, there is not a figure of Pugsley. Like, he is one of the main ones. Like, Cousin It, I guess, became more popular, with the movie, and like a little bit more lately, I guess. But Pugsley is the main character. He's the son. Like, he should be in it. So I feel like they should have replaced Thing, like that Thing one with the crypt, and maybe did like Pugsley and Thing or something like that. Like, maybe they could have figured something out with like the two of them. I don't know if they could have done that, because it's technically two characters or whatever. I don't know. I've heard the whole thing with skew numbers and everything. Probably with this, it shouldn't be an issue, but it should have been Pugsley. Really, I think Pugsley should have been in this. Lurch was another one. Like, why didn't they have Lurch? I feel like he could have made a really good toy. Maybe they were going to do two more. Like, it only really would have been two more, and they decided like six. I don't know how many they do nowadays. Like, how many toys, how many weeks do they have a whole campaign going for? Like, six is probably it, right? Like, because that's like, that's over a month when a movie comes out. But again, this ain't for a movie. We don't know why it's out. It's just out. Here they are. It's the Addams Family, because it's Halloween. Here is one last look at the Addamses. Morticia. What the fuck's his name? Here is one last look at the Addams Family. Here is Gomez and his one snap. Here is Morticia and her hair. I guess that is her only gimmick, is you could comb Morticia's hair. And here is Cousin It with his spinning around, moving wind up gimmick. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and I will see you next time.